Hello and welcome to Crucible of Words for more dedicated legacy action. Today I am playing another TonyScapone special. This is the Epic Gamble. This is a storm combo deck, meaning we're going to play a bunch of spells and then cast a Grapeshot, getting loads of copies and doming our opponent for lethal. The way in which we're going to do this is by playing a load of 0-drop artifacts and things that generate mana like Rite of Flame. We're going to use these things and then go into either Echo of Eons to draw some more cards and carry on doing it. Harnfell, Horn of Bounty, to then, all the cards we draw, we then turn into more cards. Or Galvanic Relay to follow up the following turn for a big hit of enough spells to get up to 20 Storm and Grapeshot our opponent to death. That's more or less it. Now the reason it's called the Epic Gamble is because we have the gamble in it and we're going to be using this to find Echo of Eons most of the time. So we can just use this as like a tutor for a draw 7. Which in theory works pretty well. Sometimes you have to gamble for other things. And you kind of run the risk and you have to go down the old gambling line of actually gambling to see if you get the right thing. But because the main thing we're going to be getting is Echo of Eons, it's pretty solid here. So if you've not seen Vindictive Flamestoker, this is worth looking at. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets a counter. And then you can pay 7 and sack it to discard your hand and draw 4. But it costs 1 less for each counter on it. So this very quickly becomes 1 mana, draw 4. Because we've got so many 0-drops in our deck or things that net us mana, so we're just going to keep going through the motions and drawing as many cards as we can to try and Grapeshot our opponent out. That's more or less it. We should be pretty good against counterspell decks because of how good Galvanic Relay is. We can play a bunch of stuff and then play the Relay, and our opponent's kind of going to be behind at that point for the most part. So yeah, this is the deck. Sideboard wise, we've got some very precise tools here. So we've got 4 Leyline of the Void. Pretty obvious what that's for. Various graveyard decks that can race us. We've got 2 Echoing Truth and 2 Shattering Spree as our opponent might have permanents we need to get rid of. Whether that's going to be Collector Roof that we need to bounce or things like Chalice or whatever, so you can replicate through a Chalice and it'll still hit, it'll just count on the first copy of it. Then we have, for blue decks, we just want some more Storm spells, so we've got these Empty the Warrens, so against Delver and things, Galvanic Relay and Empty the Warrens, between them should be enough to secure us a win. And we have 3 defense grids for blue decks. So if we just want a little bit of protection, just put these down and away we go. So previous versions of this one have had Burning Wish in. But this is the build that Tony played the other day and it's a really good league. It's worth watching. I'm going to link it in the description below. You should go and watch that and you should follow Tony's channel. But I'm going to try the list that he played the other day. So before we jump into a league, let's do the usual plug. Like, comment, subscribe. You can now also become a member of the channel. There's a little button to do that. And you can sort of give me a little bit of money each month. And depending on how much money you want to give me, depends on what you get. Simple. All right, I think that's about it. So let's jump straight into a league with TonyScapone's The Epic Wishlist Gamble. Right, so we're on the draw. Our opponent has a 61 card deck and they've mulliganed very quickly. I think they might be on Oops. Obviously, we can't really do much about that because we're a combo deck 2. We have to mulligan this because we don't have any starting mana to actually cast our spells. So this gives us Flamestoker into a couple of redraws. This hand is pretty slow. I think we can do better. I think we have to mulligan. Yikes. Our opponent is definitely making us think that they're playing Oops or spells the way they're mulliganing here. So I think what we might be inclined to do is try and hit the Echo Lion's Eye Diamond and just mess up their hand. Now we could just wheel them into another hand if they don't have it on turn 1. But we need to find a hand that does something, right? Okay, this gives us a shot to gamble for Lion's Eye Diamond. I think so. We have to get rid of Flamestoker. 2 gambles. I guess it's 2 gambles here. And then we have 2 mana floating for when once we've flipped our Echo of Eons, perhaps. No, we need to keep a gamble because we need to put a red card on the Chrome Mox. All right, we got there. Nearly made a horrible mistake. So are we dead on turn 1? I suspect our opponent is Oops or spells. No, they're just a reanimated deck. Interesting. Okay, a Chrome Mox. Let's play this Chrome Mox. Let's imprint a gamble. And let's gamble for Lion's Eye Diamond. We got a 33% chance here, so. Okay, we discarded the correct one. We don't really want to draw this Chrome Mox, I don't think. So we'll play it out now for Metalcraft purposes. And then we'll play this Lion's Eye Diamond. And we'll have a look at some more cards. Okay. I think step 1 is probably... We're probably going to have to pass the turn here. But our Galvanic Relay will give us a load of cards that can't be thought seized or anything. Just working out which of these we play. If we play the Vindictive Flamestoker out, that's not really going to get us anywhere. We've only got Storm Count of 5 right now. So we play this one out, and we play this one out, we won't have enough mana. So we basically need to use both of these just to make our relay this turn, I think. Sure. Play this Ancient Tomb. Play out this Mox Opal. We'll cast this. We might have also wheeled our opponent into something good here. So we're going to get a bunch of cards in exile here. So a Birgi and a Gamble. Okay. This looks pretty good to me. Birgi basically means you don't run out of mana. Now, there's probably going to be multiple ways we can play this next turn, but it's probably going to be like cast Birgi, play out some 0 drops, play out the Chrome Mox, use that for Gamble to get Lion's Eye Diamond. Although if we whiff on that, that's not going to be very good. So maybe... Actually, no, we've already got the Echo in the graveyard, haven't we? Oh, no, we haven't got the Echo in the graveyard. They're all in exile. So we could play a Chrome Mox imprinting Echo. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can just front side an Echo instead of playing the Birgi. Interesting. Our opponent is not playing anything. We might have wheeled them into a very bad hand. Alright, this is the difficult turn because I need to know what I'm doing a bit better now because I have more options. So, if we do this to play Birgi, these are going to recoup the 3 mana we spend. So I think we play the Birgi out first. And then we cast a Bauble. Get ourselves some red mana. Play this Bauble out. Get some more red mana. So we can gamble now to try and hit the Lion's Eye Diamond. This is effectively free because of the Birgi. Maybe we're supposed to play the land there first in case we discard it because we don't really want to discard the land there. Okay. Although maybe we are looking for like a different land there anyway. Okay, so we've got this Lion's Eye Diamond here. Maybe we could have played out the Flamestoker first, actually. I feel like we are kind of just doing whatever we want at this point. We can gamble again here. Doesn't cost us anything. We can try and get another Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay, so we didn't get that one, unfortunately. So we got Storm Count of 7, so quite a ways off. If we imprint this, we don't have another one. So maybe we don't need to Chrome Mox just yet. So we got 1, 2... I think we just spin this one, right? So we'll go triple blue. And I will flash this back. 1, 2, 3. We're going to get another red in a second anyway. Please unstack. Get another grip of cards. Okay, so we play out Flamestoker here. This will just give us the mana back straight away. And we can play out this Chrome Mox. We're going to print a Spirit Guide. We can play a Lion's Eye Diamond here. Play out this Ancient Tomb. Tap this for 2 mana. We can exile this because we don't want to draw this in a minute. We'll crack this for triple blue. We'll front side this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This gives us more red mana. So we're getting close to just having stuff here. So we can spam a load of these out. We've got some draw 4s here. Our Storm Count should be getting towards lethal very soon. Tap this for red. Play a Mox. Keep this one. Play this Lotus Petal out. So we've got another Echo still. We've got these Flamestokers, so we'll just crack this. And draw some cards. So we've got Grapeshot now. Our opponent's on 17. This is 18. This is 19. And point this at our opponent's face. Same targets. Alright, so our Grapeshots are just hitting our opponent's face. They're letting us click through it. And the last one for Exacties. Sure, we managed to navigate that one alright. It helped that our opponent didn't do anything, but we did wheel them on turn 1 to stop them from doing that. So, sideboarding. I would like some Leyline of the Voids here. That seems like a good idea. I don't think we need anything else here. Now we're going to get our hand discarded up pretty quick. So, I believe we're supposed to just get rid of Baubles for these. I could be mistaken on that one. So, I don't think there's anything else we're after. Like, we just got to dodge some discard here. We kind of just have to use the Leylines and race, I think, rather than trying to worry about what they get into play. But I could be wrong on that one. We'll see how things change. Serenity is a thing that's a bit annoying for us, but hopefully we just go through it and just draw a bunch of cards and stuff. We'll submit like this. So I don't really like this hand that much. We've got a lot of redundancy with the Galvanic Relays, but I feel we need to go a little bit quicker. Let's mulligan this one. What does this achieve? I don't think this achieves very much either. I think we can do better. So we got the Lion's Eye Diamond. That's probably the first thing our opponent's going to make us discard. Do we just mulligan to Leyline here? Alright, this hand, so we're on what? 4 cards. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get like a Galvanic Relay for 3. That seems pretty weak. I think we can just mulligan to like Leyline Wheel or something. So we've got Leyline. We've got some other stuff here that's not really filling with joy. I guess we're on the Leyline plan here. So 4 cards on the bottom of our library. That's a lot of cards, isn't it? I think I want to keep permanent mana sources. So I'm going to keep the Shatterskull Smashing. We probably need to keep the Gamble. Oh, it's not leaving us with a lot of options, is it? So I think we're getting rid of Opal, Bauble, Petal, Relay. That doesn't seem great. So our opponent has a Leyline of the Void. We also have a Leyline of the Void. They also have 6 cards in hand. I suspect we lose this one. Maybe we're supposed to board out some of our Echoes. We could also try, like, on the play, we could try a big Empty the Warrens turn. Channel to the Void for 0. That's pretty good against us. Wooded Foothills. All right. We're going to struggle, is what I'm hearing here. Okay. I guess we're putting this into play before it can be thought seized away or anything. So we can cast spells that will put counters on it, but they won't resolve if they're 0 drops. Gamble's not going to be looking great. Okay, I completely misread what our opponent's deck was. Our opponent is on goblins, so we need a very different approach to how we play these games. So there's a Chrome Mox, so we have something that we can do something with here. I think we just leave this in hand and try for a bigger turn. We can get punished if we get discarded, but our opponent probably isn't on a lot of discard in their goblin deck. Feels like Chalice and Leyline is what they've got here. Okay, so they got Matrons, so they can kill us potentially next turn if they've got the mana for it. Which they do actually, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, they need 1 more mana and they can kill us next turn. Because they can go and get the Boggart Harbinger. Yeah, so Boggart Harbinger's in their hand. So they play that next turn and they get to go off. So we are dead on their next turn as long as they know how to operate their deck. This goblin deck is really sweet. A Rite of Flame. So we cast Rite of Flame. Gives us 2 mana. We cast Gamble. We go down to 1. We got nothing. Okay, we'll just see if our opponent knows how to pilot their deck. We also might see some more interesting tech, but I doubt it. They can just go and put Kiki-Jiki into play. Yep. So what our opponent's going to do here, if you're unfamiliar with this combo deck, is they play the Boggart Harbinger. This will put a Kiki-Jiki on top of the library, which means Conspicuous Snoop can copy a non-legendary creature. So it can copy itself, which then can copy itself, which can copy itself. So they're going to make loads and loads and loads and loads of guys. And then they're going to Boggart Harbinger for the guy that lets them sack guys to drain us out. And then they can sack all these guys they have. The only way this doesn't work is if the Sling Gang is in their hand. So they got loads of creatures here. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yes, they got more than enough guys here. So now they copy the Harbinger. They kind of had to sit there letting us go off, so it's only fair that we do the same. That looks like enough guys. Yep, so the Harbinger comes in, and there's a Sling Gang in there. Yeah, sure. It wasn't in their hand, so it's on top of their library now. Alright, so we've boarded wrong for this. We thought they were Reanimator. They are not Reanimator. So, what are we going to want here? Some combination of these sorts of things, I imagine. These are probably going to be relatively useful. Maybe we're cutting a couple of Echoes just so we're playing around their ley lines that we've seen. We do have Grapeshot, which is pretty good in this matchup, just as a thing we can do. Oh, we need the... Do you want Shattering Sprees or do you want Echoing Truth? Echoing Truth can hit their ley lines as well as their thing. Maybe we're supposed to... Oh, I don't like the idea of boarding in that many things, though. Yeah, we'll try like this. I'm sure people who are expert at this deck... Tony, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but it's not going to be our finest hour, this one. Alright, this hand is no good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... So this gives us 1 mana. 1, 2, 3... Yeah, this makes a lot of goblins. We'll put this on the bottom. Place Bauble. Place Lion's Eye Diamond. Place Mox Opal. We'll play this Rite of Flame. This gives us 2 mana. This gives us 3 mana. And then we make some goblins. The Goblins Mirror. They have Mindbreak Trap as well as Leyline and Chalice. That would be pretty bad for us. Feels like they do. They do have Mindbreak Trap. Okay, so we've lost this game. Sure. Sometimes they're going to have it. Let's see what they're drawing this turn. Cavern of Souls. Sure. Now we can just draw Echo of Eons and we're off. Or we can draw... We can't draw Gambo now. Maybe we shouldn't have cracked this Bauble actually because we don't have Metalcraft anymore. That was probably a mistake. But this only really helps us if we draw Gamble, whereas this gives us more chances to draw the thing we want. Okay, so we can definitely have Metalcraft. Echoing Truth. Sure, I guess we're passing here. Mindbreak Trap, Leyline, and Chalice. It's a lot of hate for a deck that's trying to make a load of guys and combo off. Sad times for us over here. Is this Conspicuous Snoop? It is. Okay, so we might be dead very soon. Food Chain on top, so that's the other combo in their deck. We could really do with drawing our Echo of Eons. Galvanic Relay. This doesn't really do anything here. I think we play out this Chrome Mox. We're going to imprint our Galvanic Relay so we can Echoing Truth if we need to. So we've got blue from the Mox and Chrome. Goblin Lackey. Okay, that's fine for now, I guess. No play. They might just be doing second main phase play, seeing if we react to their Snoop, because they'd rather replay the Snoop if we're bouncing it. Right, just one draw from our... Like, we've got 4 Gambles and 2 Echoes in our deck, I think. Any of those win us... Well, not win us the game, but they can certainly put us towards winning the game. Earwig Squad. Yikes. This is going to be a tough one, isn't it? Yep, so they're going to get rid of Echo of Eons here, and then we're going to lose the game, I think. That's what they name. They actually name, do they? No, they just search our library for 3 cards, don't they? Yeah, so they're going to take 2 Echo of Eons and maybe a Grapeshot. Let's see what they take. If they take the Echoes, I think we can scoop. I don't realistically know how we're supposed to get back from here when they've got 7 power in play. If they take the wrong things, then we're okay, but if they take the Echoes... Just check how many we have on the sideboard. It is 2, yeah. So if they take the Echoes, we need... I think game 2... Losing game 2 is going to be down to the fact that we didn't know what our opponent... We thought our opponent was on Reanimator because they mulliganed so aggressively and showed us... Okay, yeah, so taking our Echoes, we'll concede here. Yeah, so I think we lose that match because the second round we thought our opponent was Reanimator, so we boarded wrong. We had this dead card that we mulliganed to a little bit because our opening hands weren't very great. We were like, oh, we need something that can beat Reanimator, and we just kind of got knocked out by what they were doing there. So, yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but these things happen. So, on to the second round. We're on the play for round 2. What does this hand do? We can make a Stoker and then get 1, 2, 3, 4 counters on the Stoker. So, it'll only cost us 3 mana to draw 4, which we can't do immediately, but we can draw some extra cards. I think we're supposed to keep this one and get stoked. Opponent's mulligan to 5 cards. Alright. 4 cards. I see. Get red mana for this. Play our little guy. Let's get stoked. Play a Bauble. Play a Bauble. If we think our opponent is some sort of deck that might leverage their life total for a resource, we could just throw off a Grapeshot here, but it will cost us our Lotus Petal, so I don't really want to do that, since we're going to be using that to draw some more cards in the near future, hopefully. Although I guess the 1 mana we pay into this will be evened out by the 1 mana we get back off of the Grapeshot. but then we can't crack as many baubles. So I think we just pass the turn like this, and we'll crack these baubles in our opponent's upkeep before they draw. We'll crack one of them. Maybe we should have targeted ourselves to see if we can crack this other one. A daze. Okay. I don't think we can crack this other bauble, although we do need some more mana to get anywhere. We'll let them draw this daze first. Maybe we crack the first one on us and we can see if we're going to be getting an artifact. If we're drawing 3 cards for our turn, we should be getting an artifact somewhere in them to turn Metalcraft back on. But we'll see what our opponent does here. Just a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Alright. So we know they have a daze. A bauble, sure. They're surveilling. I'll put Ponder into their graveyard, sure. They're immediately going to fire this back at us. Yep. I think we will bauble our opponent here. Volcanic Island on top, sure. We can attack with our Flamestoker, which is nice. Let's draw some cards. A Birgi and a Bauble. So we found the other artifact we wanted. And we found a Spirit Guide. So we can play out this Bauble. This gives us Metalcraft. They could be inclined to daze this. They did not daze it. Interesting. So we have 2 mana, 3 mana. So we can play a Birgi, but it'll be into the daze that we know about. Or we can exile this and cast this, targeting the Dragon's Rage Channeler. This will put another counter on our Flamestoker. We'll put both targets on the Dragon's Rage Channeler here. That way, they're not going to be able to filter cards. We're going to guarantee it dies through this daze that we know they have. And next turn, we can draw with the Stoker. Once again, do we crack the Bauble? I don't think we do this time. So we have a guaranteed draw for here. Sure, they're doing this just so they can surveil. We know they've got the Volcanic Island on top. They're going to keep it or they're going to bin it. Oh no, because they drew this off of the Bauble, didn't they? That's why. So dazing. Grapeshot. This is going to make this lethal into a 3/3 now, which is a bit annoying. Probably should have thought that one through a little bit better, shouldn't I? I guess we'll ping them for 1 since we're not going to kill this. That's a little bit awkward, and we probably could have played around that since we had the information there of the daze. So now we have a decision about whether or not we crack this to try and draw. So this is only 1 mana, so we can just draw off the Petal, but again that takes us further away from Metalcraft. Would we rather have another card that we don't necessarily get to do anything with before we do our bits and pieces? So there's the Volcanic Island. They've still got another Volcanic Island in hand, so we know that they don't have... Well, they still could have Forcible Blue, actually. Cracking this Bauble or not is a real tough choice. I think we're supposed to not crack it here. A Flamestoker. That's kind of an ugly one here. This hasn't got bolted yet, so maybe we just play out the Flamestoker and then have a better turn next turn because we're not under a lot of pressure right now. Now, we could just sack this Flamestoker right now with using this Petal. But again, we're not under any pressure, and we can do this at instant speed if our opponent gives us a reason to. If our opponent tries to interact with this Flamestoker, then we definitely pop this Bauble and this Petal. Right, so there's the other Volk we knew about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they can make a Murktide if they have one. Our opponent was thinking about playing something for red there. Interesting. Could be the Lightning Bolt. It's just going to be... Oh, a Charter Course. Interesting. I don't think we crack this Bauble now. I think just having the mana on our turn to work with is going to be really crucial. Now we could just draw an artifact here and it would have been fine. Yeah, might have been fine. So we get to play this out. We'll imprint this Birgi. And we'll draw a bunch of cards. Go attacks. Let's get 2 damage in. Slightly less storm we need. Then we will... Comes for red. We would like to draw 4 cards, please. I can't do anything about this. I haven't really mana for something like a Stifle. That's pretty bad. That is not a good one. That is not a good one at all. This has got 1 counter on. We can make it up to 2, 3 counters, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can pop this, but it kind of leaves us nowhere again. So I think we're supposed to wait another turn, get this draw off the Bauble, and then try and pop it. Our hand hasn't really panned out very well. I'm a bit worried about that red mana they tapped earlier. If we do have a Bolt, they can hit our Flamestoker and just remove all of our ability to do anything. Something like a Murktide or something would be okay here, because at least they'd be tapping out and putting a thing into play rather than holding mana open or killing our guy. Feels like a bolt. Let's see what our opponent's got in their hands. Brazen Borrower. Okay, that could be pretty annoying on our Chrome Mox. You know, maybe we should have just gone for it last turn because we did see them tap the red. Right, we've got 2 cards coming though. We know they've got a Borrower in hand. Oh, an Echo. And a Gamble. Don't mind that. We can play around double days. So let's cast a Gamble first. Feels like they've probably drawn a Force of Will by this point. We've only had 1 Ponder, but they have had some surveils off of their channeler to help dig them to it. We need this. We're going to finalise our diamond and we need it to not... Okay, so this looks like the Force of Will coming in here. Sure. What do they pitch? The Borrower. Okay. Okay. Do we play out a City of Traitors into a potential wasteland? Because we might need to find another blue source. So I think we play this out in case we draw a Volcanic Island. That gives us another blue source. We could play out the Simian Spirit Guide, but I think we're going to put it under the Chrome Mox next turn. Our opponent's clock is slow and steady, but it's starting to ramp up. It's 3 turns now. And they got other action. Is this going to be an end of turn brainstorm? Sure. So this is for velocity, so just trying to make sure that they can have a big play next turn. So if they have got Murktide in the top 3 cards, they can play the Murktide next turn is the idea. But again, we don't necessarily care. It will take turns off of the game. But I'd rather see threats than permission, because that's what's going to stop us right now. Our opponent mulligan's so low and they're still going to beat us, which is a bit upsetting. Maybe we weren't supposed to keep our hand. I believed in the Stokers a little too hard, perhaps. So we'll attack for 3, and then they might deploy something like a Murktide. Okay, so there's the Wasteland. So we're a little bit punished for playing out the City of Traitors, but I think we had to keep that line available to us. We take our hit from this. We go to 8. 3 turns left on this. A Mox Opal. This is 1 mana. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is enough to try and frontside this Echo. And if it doesn't work, we can backside it next turn. Let's play a Rite of Flame. Let's play a Chrome Mox. Let's imprint this Spirit Guide. Tap this for blue. Let's play this. Keep this one. Tap this for blue. So we are cold to a daze here, but like I said, we can just refire it next turn. Do you have another piece of permission, opponent? They did not. Okay. So, what are we doing here? I think we play out this. So we can try a Rite of Flame here into a big Galvanic Relay turn. Or we can do the other Echo. Opponent now has cards though, so you have to worry about permission. Let me cast this Rite of Flame. The reason being is they might counter it because we don't have anything else up. Then we can play this and Rite of Flame, and there'll be another one in the graveyard, so it'll be enough for Galvanic Relay. I can play this. This might be slightly greedy because if they counter this, we're in trouble. Force of Will. Okay. Surprised I didn't force the first one that we tried to bait out with. If they were going to Force of Will a Rite of Flame. Because they could have just got rid of the starting mana. Okay. I guess now we're on the gamble line here. Let's see if we can get Lines Like Diamond in our hand. It went to the graveyard. Yuck. Okay. So next turn we have the Echo of Eons again. And we get to reload our opponent's hand with permission. They mulligan pretty hard. But their hand has been great because Dragon's Rage Channeler is probably, in my opinion, the best creature in Legacy. In terms of like mana, cost, and what it does, it's just unbeatable. Very solid guy. We have reduced their clock slightly. Okay, so we're going to lose our Volcanic Island here. That's a little bit of a shame. We can play Flamestoker into Echo, but that will play into a daze. What are we getting here? More channelers, or are they just going to be bolting our face? Yeah, they're going to be trying to bolt us so that they can get Delirium. This is a sorcery, and they put a land in there now, so their guy should be delirious once this resolves. So we have to win on our next turn. So this Galvanic Relay is not going to be good enough. We'll say no to this. Now they might just have another Lightning Bolt. Might just wield them into the perfect Force of Will, double Lightning Bolt, kill us hand. Wait, what have I missed here? Instant, land. Oh no, sorcery, yeah. So they're still one shy of flipping this guy. Another lightning bolt? Another lightning bolt. Have we wheeled them into the perfect hand? Is there a creature on top of their library? There is not. Okay, so we might get to live another day. We do have to win on our next turn, though. Opponent's got 3 cards in hand. If we can draw a mana source, we can play the Flamestoker first. So we might be able to go and draw some more cards later on down the line. A Bauble. Does that change anything? Like, we're dead to days here. So I think we play the Bauble and we fire this off. And see if we can see anything in our opponent's hand that we're worried about. Chart a course. That is a blue card. Now, we can fire this Echo around... I think we just have to do it around a daze as much as I want the Stoker here. So this is blue and 2. They might still daze here just so they can take mana off of us. Okay. Now, what are we doing? So this relay isn't doing anything this turn because we're dead. Unless we can kill this Dragon's Rage Channeler, which doesn't seem that likely. So I think we're going to... I think we have to play one of our Flamestokers first, which does play into daze. We're very much in trouble here. This can potentially block a Dragon's Rage Channeler, though. There's the daze. Sure. What are they going to mill? A Brainstorm. Okay, another instant. That's fine, I guess. I'll say no to this. So we're on this. And we have to imprint the Galvanic Relay here. And then we just play the Flamestoker and hope to block. Yeah, that's what we do. It's not pretty, but that's what we got. They got another day. Oh, they got Force of Will. Unbelievable. Yeah, our opponent drew like an absolute demon that entire game. They mulled to like 3 or whatever it was, or 4. And then just proceeded to hit exactly what they needed every turn. Every wheel just got us. Okay, I would like these defense grids. I'd also like Echo of Eons. I'd also like Empty the Warrants. What am I supposed to sideboard out here? I think it's 3 baubles for 3 defense grid. I think that's the usual. The Echo is a bit of a liability against them. So maybe we're trimming on Echoes. Birgi is kind of a similar deal. So we definitely want to get rid of 2 of these. Do we just get rid of 2 Birgi? Something like this? Sure. What would TonyScapone do? So this seems alright to me. Because we can do some wheeling stuff still. We've got 2 in there. We can gamble for it if we need to. But we can just make a bunch of goblins on turn 1 and kill our opponent potentially. Okay, let's have a look at our opening hand. 1, 2, 3. I don't think this goes anywhere. I think we should mulligan. What about this one? We don't really have any big payoffs. I think we're supposed to mulligan. Gamble here doesn't really do anything. We're supposed to mulligan again. Yikes. I guess they're all on one of these little wheel ones, aren't we? Yeah. This hand just feels bad. Okay, we're just going to keep going. This is the best looking hand I've seen so far. But doesn't feel the most helpful. I guess we're getting rid of a bauble. I don't really want to get rid of this because it's mana. Just getting rid of these. 2 more of these cards have got to go. Is it defense grid, Lion's Eye, Diamond? Our opponent mulliganed as if they were trying to... did they mulligan at all? No, they began the game with 7 cards in hand. Yuck. I don't think we can keep 2 Lion's Eye Diamonds. What is going to be more useful here? A defense grid or a Simian Spirit Guide? Simian Spirit Guide means we can cast a gamble. Yeah, we've lost this game. This is my experience usually of playing Storm decks. I found the Mono Black Saga Storm mulliganed a lot better. Now, maybe we should have kept one of those earlier hands, but they didn't look like they did enough or did anything. There was one that had a few baubles. Maybe I'm supposed to keep that and just hope we redraw, but it feels like not having a payoff is going to work. Isn't going to work for us. So, Delver of Secrets. Sure. Maybe this one will be blissfully quick. A Vindictive Flamestoker that we can play, but it's not going to get us anywhere. I think we need to hold up for the gamble, potentially. I feel we are losing this game. Oh, I didn't flip that Delver. I guess that gives us some more time. I may have said on my channel before that I'm not very good at playing Storm, and maybe my mulligan decisions there is a good example of that. A Volcanic Island. Okay. Let's play a guy. We don't really want to play the LED out into potential meltdown. Alright, we've got a guy. They could bolt this, which would be sad, but they could bolt this and then wasteland us. That would be very sad. There's the bolt. There it is. It's weird how Lightning Bolt is actually good against this Storm deck sometimes. Alright, Delver didn't flip, so that's something. It's another land. Wasn't a wasteland though, so at least we have some mana. So we can cast a gamble around a daze here. And the problem is our opponent gets more cards if we cast a wheel. A Rite of Flame. Okay. Starting to get there with some stuff. Doesn't especially feel like I'm playing Magic the Gathering right now, but a few more turns. So this Delver is probably going to flip this turn, and they'll draw the one card and shuffle away the other. Unless they've got a lot of junk they're trying to get rid of in their hand. And they might value that over flipping the Delver. They do. Unless they've just got another Brainstorm. They do. By the looks of it, yep, sure. Go ahead, opponent. Have all the things. Lightning Bolt. Doesn't really matter too much. It's one turn off the clock. Means that our Stokers won't be very good. We're getting a Murktide this turn. No, just a Charter Course. And another land. It's going to be a Murktide. No, just a Ponder. Sure. So we need to somehow resolve a gamble through our opponent's many cards in hand, plus triple cantrip to find exactly what they want, and the Charter Course that padded their hand too. They did not shuffle their library off the Ponder. Like, we can still draw Defense Grid and have a little bit of action that way, but it's not looking great for us. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Take 3 here. Chrome Mox. That's nothing. We may be able to have like a Galvanic Relay turn soon, but we're asking for quite a lot. Lightning Bolt. Sure. So this is just trying to flip the guy. Okay, if they've got another Lightning Bolt, we do lose. Go ahead, opponent. We mulligans 2 and cast 1 spell. Not great. There's Ponder. Doesn't find them a Lightning Bolt. Who shuffled their library. This is just a Murktide. Nope, just a Charter Course. They're just trying to find Lightning Bolts here. Like, I imagine they've just got a grip full of counter magic anyway. And we didn't draw anything. Sure. That was a pretty miserable match, to be honest. Game 1, our opponent just had the perfect answers to all the things we did. And every time we wheeled, they just got a bunch of stuff. Maybe we were just supposed to build out all of the Echo of Eons. Not that it mattered in this game because we just mulliganed to a blue and didn't really go anywhere. Alright, I guess we're going on to round 3 now, and hopefully we can pick things up a bit. This is a weird hand. We can make a Birgi. Actually, no, we can't, right? 1, 2. We can just draw a load of cards of Baubles. I think we're supposed to try to keep this one. Like, Birgi, we can play it as a Horn at some point. We've got 3 redraws here. We find a Stoker or something. Maybe I've been mulliganing too aggressively before, and now this isn't aggressive enough. I don't know. This is kind of the problem I have playing this deck, is that I don't really know what a good hand looks like, apart from the obviously good ones. Prismatic Vistas. This is going to be a slower match, which suits us quite nicely. A City of Traitors. That's certainly a card, isn't it? We do need to just draw some stuff and get going here. So I think we are on let's bauble our opponent. Get some cards. We don't know if our opponent's going to be playing discard, so we probably want to use these baubles in our opponent's turn. We did have an option of making Birgi this turn using City and Petal, but then playing all these things doesn't really matter. We get mana, but it doesn't really go anywhere. I think next turn we can just try and save up for a bigger turn. We'll take our redraws now, and then we'll kind of work from that point. I'm not sure if we're supposed to play out a City there, but I don't really want to get wastelanded. That seems unnecessary. Let's see what our opponent's got over there. A Mox Amber. Okay, our opponent's on something a bit weird. I don't know what this card is. When it enters the battlefield, create treasure token. Creatures you control into the battlefield. Okay. There's some sort of combo or something happening on the other side of the board. That's for sure. General Ferris Roderick. Okay, so they're making a load of guys. So they're like a General Ferris Rockrick. So they're going to be making a bunch of guys that are big. Yeah, 4/4s. So it's going to be like a mid-rangey deck by the looks of it, unless they got some sort of way that lets them go infinite. So we're probably going to see this painter here. Yeah. Just get some treasure. So next turn they can play their general. Mox Amber coming out now. Sure. We knew they had this. Discard is something our opponent can have. Looks like that's what we're getting hit with here. Thoughtseize. No, another Mox Amber. Okay, they're just going to play the general out now as well. Understood, opponent. So they're going to have a reasonable clock this game. But we should be able to race their clock. It's the interaction that is the problem for us. All right, let's draw some more cards. A Relay, this is good. An Echo, this is pretty decent. A Grapeshot. This is hexproof from monocolored, so that's not going to help us, how is it? So if we play out City of Traitors, oh, we need to go to our regular draw step as well. We get another card still. Okay, so if we play out this City of Traitors, if we play out our Birgi off of this, then we play the Chrome Mox imprinting Grapeshot. Then we play out, so they will give us 1 mana, so that's 2 mana. Then we play the Rite of Flame out, which gives us another mana. Or we can play out the Flamestoker for free. Okay, I think this works. Sure, let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could play out Horn, but I think we just want the Birgi to get some mana going here. Play this out. Now we have to be careful if we're pitching our only Grapeshot. There's only one more in the deck, so we could. No, we could bin off the Echo here and keep the Grapeshot. I'm not sure if I like that one though. So if we put this in here, then we pay 1 mana for this, which refunds. This nets us plus 2 mana. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. So we wouldn't be able to do the Grapeshot here anyway. I think I'd rather have red mana under here. So I guess this is going under. And then whenever we cast a spell, we get red mana here. So this is this guy. Who's going to add red mana to our pool. Which we can then cast here. And we can cast this. Put another counter on our Stoker. And then we can just F6 for the rest of our turn there. And next turn is going to be the big turn for us. What do we hit? Echo, Shatterskull. Okay, so we hit Gamble. We can probably do something with the Gamble here. Alright, opponent. We have a Shatterskull Smashing, but again, that doesn't deal with General Ferris because this is protection from monocolored, so this can sail through to deal us 4 damage. I don't really mind them just attacking us for damage. That's not an issue. It's a disruption elements, but I'm not sure what disruption elements they can have. Like, main deck is just going to be Thoughtseize and stuff. Okay, they're going to give their guy Fear, so they can get Rumble through for 5 here. That's fine. I don't think we attack into them, because if they have a 2-color instant, then they can make a 4/4 and just kill our Birgi. What are we going to draw? It's not good. It's not good. Help us out, deck. Okay, so this Grapeshot we probably need to use at some point this turn, which is a little bit awkward, if you ask me. So I think we play out the Bauble first. Always yield. Always yield. So we get our Bauble. Then we can use this for blue mana. So we can frontside an Echo this turn. Is that worth doing? If we frontside an Echo... So I think we're going to put this Echo underneath the Chrome Mox so we have blue mana for it. Along with this Lotus Petal. So then cast this from the front side. So this is blue, blue, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's happened here? I put blue and blue into this. Blue, blue, 1, 2. Okay, I must have misclicked slightly. It happens. Okay, so our Stoker's also getting big here. Storm count of 4. So I guess step 1 is play this Mox Opal. That was for blue, I think. Play this Mox Opal. And we'll keep this one. We will cast this Rite of Flame. Cast this Rite of Flame. So mana is not an issue right now. We can frontside this Echo. Just draw even more cards. Or we can backside this Echo. They're kind of the same deal either way. I don't think we want to Galvanic Relay here because our only Grapeshot is in exile, so we need to kill them this turn. So we go 1, 2, 3. Could have played this Ancient Tomb, but maybe we're looking for a Volcanic for extra blue mana. Play this. Triggers on here. Play this. Yeah, I think we should have it from here, right? More or less. So we can empty our hand. Can we empty our hand here? Let's cast some spells. Maybe I'm supposed to have gambled earlier than we have here. I think we're okay. We have loads of mana, right? So we'll play this out in case we want blue mana. That's fine. We'll exile this. We will... I guess we'll crack this guy first. Let's get some 4 more cards here. Play this guy out. There's 14, 15, 16, 17. Cast gamble. Going to get ourselves an Echo, which immediately goes to the graveyard. We can fire this off again. Then we do the Grapeshot, and then we fire off the Echo to shuffle it back in if something goes wrong. Okay, we got the concession there. So we wanted to do it this way so that we had an Echo. So if for some reason they could gain some life or whatever, we could then shuffle in and keep going because this was our only Grapeshot, so we had to win that turn. All right, our opponent is probably going to have some amount of disruption for us. What is that disruption going to entail? I don't actually know. Probably Leylines, maybe, along with... We did see white mana, so they could have Deafening Silence. So this is something I'm interested in. If they're going to be bringing in Echoes, maybe we're supposed to go sort of like some number of these things. So probably cutting some Baubles, maybe cutting some Echoes, and that gives us 2 more slots to cut here. I think the removal here is quite nice. Are we supposed to trim on Gambles if we're trimming on Echoes? Quite like having these as just blue things to imprint to Echoing Truth as well. Maybe it's just more Baubles. Yeah, sideboarding with this deck is hard. So much easier sideboarding with a deck that you built yourself than it is sideboarding with someone else, especially when it's one that's a little bit out of your comfort zone like this is for me. But if we've got a game win, let's see if we can turn it into a match win. This one is pretty good. We have turn 1 Echo. Let's see if they're just going to Leyline or Thoughtseize us. These would be bad things to happen. Mox Amber. That could also be Deafening Silence. There's a Plains. It's going to be Deafening Silence. It is Deafening Silence. So we have the answer for Deafening Silence. We just need a blue source. Okay, that's not a blue source. Are we supposed to play out our Lion's Eye Diamond here? I think we are. That means next turn we can just cycle into an Echo, but again, I don't think that's where we want to be. We get 1 spell a turn, so we may as well do what we can. Volcanic Island would be a great draw here. City of Traitors. That's not a great draw, is it? I think we'll play this land out. We'll pass the turn. We're going to have a lot of mana once we actually start doing stuff. But we're kind of relying on some other bits to start doing stuff. So we're looking for one of our 4 Lotus Petals or our 2 Volcanic Islands. So we've got 6 draws to bounce this Deafening Silence. Mox Opal doesn't quite do it. But Mox Opal plus any other artifact does do it. So there's also that. Okay, Chrome Mox now does it too. We can't play these things out, so we'll pass the turn. It's a Maru. Pretty cool to see that on the board. What are we seeing here? 3 mana. What does this do? Exile up to 2 cards from a single graveyard. You gain 2 life if at least 1 creature card was exiled elsewhere. Exile target non-land permanent value 1 or less. Okay, so there goes our Lion's Eye Diamond. Not ideal. So Mox Opal, that's one of the things we want, but this is a problem for us. So how are we gonna... If we put something in the bin, they just exile it. We got many Birgis, so I guess we'll get rid of a Birgi. No, it is a creature spell. So this Mox Opal is not going to be very useful for us because the Kaya can remove it before we get an artifact. So if we put any other artifact into play, they'll just remove that as well. So we're going to struggle here, I would say. Cabal. Okay, whenever opponent casts a non-creature spell, we get ruined. Understood. A gamble that we can't cast. Sure, we'll go to discard. I guess we'll get rid of one of our Stokers. We're just going to try and see a few more cards from our opponent because we might see like a Thoughtseize or something. So far, we've just seen permanent base disruption, which is a different kettle of fish to Thoughtseizes and things. Obviously, on the play, we might not have to worry about Thoughtseizes. So here we've got a Vista. for a mountain. So they got a lot of basics in their deck. You can see, honestly, if you cast a Blood Moon, that'd be great. They cast a card, I don't know what it is. You, planeswalkers you control, and other creatures you control have hexproof. I think we can call this one. Okay. Game 3. So we didn't see the Leyline. We probably want these back in just so we can go fast here. We do need our Echoing Truths. Maybe Birgi is going to be a bit slow here. It is a creature that can tussle with them though. But I think we're going to just try and go quickly. They're sort of like a legend prison deck for us, because they're just going to be putting in like loads of stuff that disrupts us again and again and again. What does this hand do? We have 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, relay with some other bits in between. Sure, I guess we keep this one. We can do a big relay turn. Now, if they just drop a Deafening Silence, not a fan of that. We can cast a Gamble for Storm here. What would we find? I guess we have to find another Galvanic Relay, right? Because if we don't have the Galvanic Relay, then what are we pitching to? Although we could put this, we could put the Relay under the Chrome Mox. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. This would be blue. We can gamble for Echo and take a spin. Yeah, I like that. Our opponent's just mulliganing, so maybe they're mulliganing for Deafening Silence. They have not started with Leyline of the Void in play. So I think we're going to go for the spin the wheel line. So obviously mulliganing for something. So Bauble first. Then we'll play this. We will pay 3 life. This does run us into one slight problem potentially, which is Mindbreak Trap. Okay, our opponent looks like they're F6ing, so we'll put this underneath it. So I've done my due diligence. I should have the right mana here. Play this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll cast this. We'll go and get Echo of Eons. That's for blue. Red flashes back. Let's have a new 7. We're not going anywhere anymore. That's sad. I guess we're playing out a Bauble and another Bauble. I'm going to draw some cards here. I don't think we play out this. Maybe we do play it out. We've got all these Empty Warrens in our deck, so I think we just pass and then draw some cards. So we've hopefully wheeled our opponent into something that doesn't play here. Let's see what they're drawing first. The Wandering Emperor. You can have a Wandering Emperor. Not bothered by that one. Deafening Silence here would be obviously very bad for us. A Mox Opal, sure. Let's have a look. A Plains on top of their library, sure. And because we have another artifact in hand, we can definitely just go and draw a bunch of cards. And we saw a Plains again. The same Plains, I believe. Let's draw some cards. Right, this is cooking with gas right here. Wowzers, trousers. That's a lot of stuff. Ancient Tomb. Lotus Petal. Rite of Flame. Exile Simian Spirit Guide. Play a Lion's Eye Diamond. So we've got 3 Storm here. So we've got 2 more mana here. So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8 mana here. So we can cast a Relay, an Empty, and a Gamble. Is that right? 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that seems pretty good to me. So would we rather have Relay or Empty the Warrens? I think we might just want to put the game away here. So we're going to put Empty the Warrens into play in a second. So we're going to go 1, 2, and play this. And then we go 1, 2, play this. So if they play an Empty the Deafening Silence, this doesn't actually stop us here. Then we'll cast this, and we're going to keep going. Get an Echo of Eons. Create a triple blue. Cast this. We can't really continue here, which is a shame. But we have a 2-turn clock that they need to answer here. And if this doesn't work, we then kind of get to go again. We didn't see what we actually had off of the more Galvanic Relays, a Mox Opal. Not a great hit, actually, to be honest. But it's fine. It'll do. Opponent's got a lot of artifact mana too. What are they imprinting here? The Wandering Emperor. Okay, so we drew them back into one of these. Sure. So they've got 3 mana here. So they could play a Plague Engineer. That'd be very sad. Prismatic Vista being cracked. Basic Swamp. Black mana, red mana, white mana. This could be the general. Oh, we've got to read it here. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, choose an opponent at random. This deals damage equal to the spell's mana value. Okay. So it doesn't do anything the turn they play it, which is nice. But they can cast a Snuff Out and Demos for 4. That's not that exciting, is it? Alright, so these are the spells we have this turn. We have a Grapeshot as well. I think step 1 is attacking our opponent with everything. I think we want to play a Stoker out here. And then Slides our Diamond. Always yield to Stoker. We tap this for red. I think we are casting Gamble for another Echo here. We lost the Grapeshot. Okay. We really like this City of Traitors, or do we need the mana from the Volcanic Island? Tough to decide. Okay, we'll play this one out first. Leave this in play. I think we will gamble again. See if we can get another Lion's Eye Diamond. Nope, it went to the graveyard. Sure. So, I don't know which of these lands we want. I think we're just going to cast this Echo now. New grip for us. So we can tap this one. Oh, we don't have Metalcraft yet, do we? Oops. So play this, and we'll imprint this. Empty the Warrens. We'll tap this for red. Cast Rite of Flame. Play this Mox Opal. Keep this Mox Opal. Play this Volcanic Island. Grapeshot our opponent. Same targets. Okay. So we got there in the end. It took a little bit of finagling, but I think I handled that relatively well. Obviously, Deafening Silence in game 2 was pretty bad. But there we are. Alright, so we've managed to get a win on the board now. So we can journey towards a positive record. So let's go to round 4. I don't think I'm supposed to keep this hand. We don't really go anywhere. We can't get up to big Birgi mana. We mulligan. Alright, this is certainly a good enough hand, so we will keep this one. A bit of red mana would be nice so we can generate some mana, but we can spin the wheel. That's the thing we do. We can get a couple of Storm beforehand. We do have a choice of whether or not we play the City of Traitors or we hold up for a land that can produce a coloured source, though. But we are on the draw, so maybe we'll draw one anyway. One of these has got to go back. I think... Is it the Relay or is it one of the Baubles? I think if we get rid of one of the Baubles, we'll have a slightly better chance of like drawing a Chrome Mox, which then imprints here, which is good. And lets us cast this before we do our wheel. I think I'll get rid of a Bauble. Maybe a mistake. Like, it might not matter. We might draw something that wouldn't have been irrelevant wherever we kept. Mountain. Okay. A basic mountain. Okay, so we have been rewarded for this play now. So, Chrome Mox. If we imprint the Rite of Flame here, we can use the City of Traitors to cast a Galvanic Relay before we do our Lion's Eye Diamond. Yeah, that seems fine to me. Play this. Play this. Play this. It's just a little one. Just an innocent little Galvanic Relay for 3. Can we have a whole new group of cards? They could have a Pyroblast if they're something like a Painter deck. Okay, they did not. So, can we keep going here? We can play a Bauble, make a Flamestoker, play a Gamble. Where does that get us? Nowhere. We can play a Bauble and a Flamestoker though. I'm down with that. Let's see what we have in exile here. We have another artifact, so we can use this Bauble next turn. I don't think it's worth us playing this Bauble out. We've already played a land for turn, so I think we'll pass and then we'll Bauble them in their upkeep, see what they're going to draw. Sure, line and bot on the man. That's what our opponent's working with here. Simian Spirit Guide. So I think my read of Painter is looking relatively likely. Basic Mountain, Simian Spirit Guide, Lightning Bolt, Urza Saga. This looks like a Painter deck. I think it's the best deck that just plays turn 1 Basic Mountain. Okay, so they've got the combo soon. They have the Spirit Guide, which can make them Pyroblast one thing we do here, which is a little bit scary. But we've got a lot of spells we can cast, right? So we're going to draw a card here as well. So what's the best way of approaching this? We don't have a little guy. We might be able to Shatterskull Smashing this turn just to get rid of this guy. We're just going to do a big relay turn, I think, aren't we? So we cast the Bauble. Cast the Bauble. We tap this one for red. We play the Opal. We keep this one. We play out this Lotus Petal. We play out this Chrome Mox. We can imprint this Simian Spirit Guide. We can play out this Rite of Flame. Do we want to Shatterskull Smashing this? So it'll cost us 3 mana. So it'll cost us this. And then we get 1 Galvanic Relay out of this. It'll be a relay for 7, but we get rid of that guy. I don't hate that. Let's see if we can get this guy out of their hand, out of play. They might have a Pyroblast here. Simian Spirit Guide has entered the Exile Zone. Red Elemental Blast, sure. So we can gamble first, but we'll just miss if we don't hit anything there, right? So I think we are just doing a big one of these and hoping we can win the game next turn. You know, F6. 1, 2, 3 artifacts, so we can use our baubles. See what our opponent's got here. So what they're drawing. A Grindstone. Not a fan of that. What they got in hand? Is it going to be a Soul Land? And then we're just dead. Simian Spirit Guide. Okay, if they've got another mana source, then we lose the game. Not a great place to be. Grindstone. They don't have a mana source. We might get another turn here. This relay is now nothing but Chrome Mox food. Because they have lethal here. Are they slow rolling us? They should know that our deck doesn't really interact in this sort of way. Alright. Unless they've got double Spirit Guide, then they can do it in our upkeep. Okay, can we win the game or at least kill this Painter's Servant? I suspect we probably can do one of those two things. So what have we got here? If we cast the Birgi, I think it's probably a good step 1, isn't it? That gives us loads of mana here. And cast this for red. I'm going to Pyroblast the Birgi. It's a little bit annoying. Right, so now this is going to get a little bit trickier. So play this one out. We'll keep this one. We will play this. Actually, do we play the Lines of Diamond out first? Because if it gets hit, then that's not going to be great for us, is it? How useful is the colourless mana going to be here? Not the best, actually, is it? But I think we still have to play it out. Sure. Cast this Rite of Flame. Got 3 in our pool. Play this Bauble. Some kind of 6. Maybe we should play out this other Flamestoker as well. Can play that out first. Play out this Lines of Diamond. Put count on both of them. We can gamble here. Or we can... I think we just want to cast this first. And then we can gamble. Same targets, same targets, same targets, and then the others go to their face. This way, if they had Pyroblast. Okay, so now we can go red, cast, gamble. Going to put Echo of Eons into the graveyard and crack this for triple blue. And flash back this Echo of Eons. Shuffle in that Grapeshot. Play a Bauble. Stormcat is 11. This is 12. 13. 14. 15. Cut this for 2. That's for 1. Grapeshot. Okay, our opponent's conceded there. So we managed to do that one alright. We kind of had to fade a turn there, but we got there. Painter. So Painter is a deck that has Pyroblast, which specifically hate on Echo of Eons, which is not nice. They're also a deck that utilises their graveyard a lot, but I don't know if we necessarily want to be trying to Leyline and avoid them. Shattering Spree, on the other hand, that is going to be very good here. The question is, do we want Defense Grid just to stop Pyroblast on our Echo of Eons? Or do we just want to try and play through it? I think we can probably just play through it here, maybe. I don't think this is a matchup for Empty the Warrens either. Well, that doesn't get Pyroblasted. So maybe it is an Empty the Warrens matchup. Like if our opponent's sitting on a load of Pyroblasts, they only hit one spell in our deck. We need to play a bit quickly. Obviously it's taking me a while to work out what I'm doing with this, and the operations aren't as quick as they would be if I was experienced with this deck, but I've never played the Epic Gamble before. So what does this hand do? Nothing really. This is going to be a very slow relay. Our Mox doesn't do anything. So we'd have like 1. We can do a relay for 1. That's no good. Okay. Stoker, LED, Bauble. Then what? I think we keep this. And we'll get rid of this Birgi. And we'll see how this goes. We get one more draw first. And then we also do get the Bauble draws. Sure. So we're just going to relay our opponent here. So we don't really care about the Leyline. We're going to be doing the red Necropotent in this game. What I'd like to draw. Another 0 drop would be good here. Pain of 7. Okay, so we could be dead next turn. Understood. Chrome Mox. That is better than imprinting the Spirit Guide here. So we'll play out Chrome Mox. We will imprint... Yeah, so we'll imprint the Spirit Guide here. We'll play out this Flamestoker. Play a Bauble. Play an LED. Play an LED. So this has got 3 counters on it. So we sack both of these. We can draw 4 cards with 2 mana floating. Or we can just have another card off our Bauble. I might be dead next turn. If they've got Soul Land and Grindstone in hand, we just lose. Soul Guide Lantern, sure. That does not interact with what we're doing right now. We're just cycling immediately. There's a red source, so this can be Pyroblasts. Or Lightning Bolts. Red Elemental Blast. I think we have to crack this and get 4 cards here. Which means we are losing both of our Lion's Eye Diamonds to do this. Not a fan of that, but I think if we don't have these 4 cards, we lose the game. City of Traitors on top, sure. This is fine. It's not spectacular, but we got another draw here. A Vindictive Flamestoker. Do I want to play this Flamestoker? Another Flamestoker. So we can play out the Flamestoker and then play out the other Flamestoker. Or we can Simian Spirit Guide, Rite of Flame, Relay. That's no good. I think we are just playing out Flamestokers here. And I think it's worth exiling this to cast another one. Yeah, this game's a bit of a weird one. So our opponent had Soul Guide and Leyline, which are both cards they would assume would be good in a matchup. Okay, so we're dead in 3 turns. Because that represents the grindstone. Okay, this could be us dead next turn. No, they'd need another artifact to kill us next turn. And we know they've got a City of Traitors in hand. So we got the grindstone there. Okay, so we can have a relay turn, maybe. Can't do a relay with what we've got here. We'd have to get very lucky right now. So if we gamble for Lion's Eye Diamond, that doesn't actually help us, does it? There's probably something I can puzzle out my way out of here, but I'm trying to work out what it is. We don't want to gamble for Echo of Eons. That doesn't work. We can gamble for Shattering Spree. That seems bad. We can Rite of Flame, gamble for Rite of Flame, maybe cast the Relay. And then we have one more turn to go off after that. It's not pretty. That can definitely go wrong for us, as we're probably about to see. This gives us 2 mana on our pool. So we use 1 for this to get Rite of Flame. Oh no, that's still not enough, is it? Because the Galvanic Relay doesn't work that way. Okay. I think we are on... What can we even draw here? Alright, let's have a gamble and have a look. So we can go and get... What can we go and get, realistically? We haven't got any way of jumping ahead of mana apart from Lion's Eye Diamond, really. If we get a Lotus Petal here, how does that change the equation? I don't think it does. I think it just has to be Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay, that went away. I don't think we're getting anywhere with this Relay. But this Mox is basically free in our hand. So may as well leave it there for now. Yep, I think our opponent's just going to kill us in a couple of turns. Maybe we're supposed to board out the Echoes, in the Echo Gamble plan in favour of empty the Warrens, just go hard. So there's the City of Traitors we know about. Red Elemental Blast on our Chrome Mox. Bit rude, but fair enough. So next turn they just put the grindstones play that way and kill us. Seems a little rude. A Grapeshot. No, we're dead here. Okay. I think to try and dodge Leyline, which is going to be way more likely in our opponent's deck on the play, I think we take out the Echoes and Gambles. These are 56 cards. We get these Baubles back in, and maybe we're playing these. Just a little bit of interaction. Is that any good, realistically? Or do we just want a couple of Leylines to slow our opponent down? We could just have a couple of Echoes in place of these Echoing Truths, just in case they don't have it. Just in case they don't have the Leyline, the Echoes are still passable with Lion's Eye Diamond. And they're going to be about as useful as the Echoing Truth here, unless... The thing with Echoing Truth, though, is you can bounce a load of your 0 drops to your hand. Like, if you've got, like, 2 or 3, like, Baubles, whatever, you can bounce them all and replay them for a Lotus Storm, which I quite like the sound of. So, do we want these Echoes, or do we want these Echoing Truths? I think we do want the Echo of Eons just for Lion's Eye Diamond lines. Okay, so what does this hand do? Makes 1. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. So we're just going to make a load of goblins. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to print the Shattering Spree. We'll play out the Chrome Mox for Storm. We lose to Mindbreak Trap, but surely they're not playing Mindbreak Trap. I spent a lot of time in the Paint Discord, and Mindbreak Trap isn't a thing that a lot of people are playing. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We're going to make 10 goblins. Now we can definitely still lose with this hand, which is a bit gross, but Bauble, Petal, Chrome Mox, imprint this, Chrome Mox, imprint nothing. 1, 2, red, red. 1, 2, red. There we go. Do you have a Mindbreak Trap opponent? I hope not. They do not have a Mindbreak Trap. Okay. Let's see our opponent's hand, or one of the cards from it at least. Mountain. Not the most amount of information given. Now they can just go turn 1 Painter, turn 2 Grindstone, kill us. Okay. They can also do that with Simian Spirit Guides. So we don't play a Painter this turn, I think we're okay. This is going to be a Painter. Okay, so I think we might be dead here. They might just be in trying to Pyroblast our tokens town. I'm going to attack here. Go Gadget Goblins. We lose one of them, they take 9. Play this out. Play our Bauble here. I think we wait to see if they play this Mountain or not, and then we Bauble. So they're not going to be dead to what we have on board now. Because they block one of these, they take 8. And then they kill us. Engineer, this blocks another Goblin. Need to find a Grapeshot or something in the near future. That's a different art mountain to the one we've seen, so we know they've got another mountain in hand. We needed one more turn. Let's see what you're working with. Pithing Needle. What do we want to draw here? A Flamestoker? That's not really the one. And a Bauble. So we cast this Flamestoker. Cast this Bauble. It attacks. Attack with everything. We know they've got a mountain in hand, so we know we're dead here. 1, 2, 3 mana. So we can't pop this for anything. Yeah, we're just dead, I think. Unless this is the mountain that we saw, but it does have different arts. I'm pretty sure it isn't. Grindstone us. Yeah, that's our deck. And we die in our upkeep. There's nothing we can do about that. We can't somehow cast the Echo of Eons before we draw. We are done. Alright, yeah. Our goblins just weren't good enough. So a bit of a shame. But our opponent killed us turn 3. Which is a little bit awkward. Yeah, we got one more round to go. We're just trying to see if we can end up with a 2-3 now. This hand doesn't really go anywhere, so we have to mulligan it. Yeah, we have Echo with spare mana. That's the thing my deck's supposed to do. We're on the play, so we dodge a Daze. We're probably getting rid of a Chrome Mox. Say done. Play a Chrome Mox out. Well, that looked like an F6 from our opponent. That's good news. Let's cast this Rite of Flame. Let's cast this Mox Opal. Let's play this. Tap this for red now. Crack this for triple blue. Flash this back. We'll leave 1 blue in the pool. Okay, we can play out a load of things here. Play out this. Play out this. Play Play out this. Imprint this Shatterskull. Play this out. A relay for 11. Our opponent's upkeep. I would like to see what they're working with. Okay. You've got Cauldron in hand. That doesn't do much. Top card of the library is Recruit the Guard. Sure, you can draw that card. Oh, do we wheel them into nothing? That's pretty good. We got loads of metal craft here, so we'll just draw some more cards. Okay, they've conceded the game. We had all this coming in, so lights out. Okay, Death and Taxes. How are we supposed to beat Death and Taxes? I think it's just Echoing Truth. And that's it. And it's probably just 2 baubles that go. This is for Deafening Silence and Thalia's. And I think that's about it. And then on the play, I don't think we're supposed to make goblins on the play. I think we're just fast on the play and just go underneath them. Because they don't really have any way of interacting with us. They could have Mindbreak Trap, but they are an 80 card deck. So we have a way of dealing with the scary thing. We have Gamble for Echo. I think this is a keep. Deafening Silence. Relic of Progenitus. Interesting. We can spin this turn and ignore that, so that's pretty good. And we'll have a Lotus Petal to remove. Okay, Bauble. Petal. Bauble. If we imprint this, it's the only one we have, which is important to note. We could imprint this Echoing Truth instead. And this is probably what I want to do here. And we can play this Lines of Diamond out. We can cast this for red. Crack this for triple red. Use this blue. Flash this back. They got Echo. If they got Mindbreak Trap here, they get us, I think. But I don't like this pause at all. Surgical Extraction on Lion's Eye Diamond. Sure. Irritating, but not the end of the world. And this Surgical Extraction is going to get shuffled back into their deck, so they've got a chance of drawing it again. If they hit the Grapeshot there, we would have lost the game. And they know that now. Okay, so we can probably get stoked up here. Play this little lad out. Play this Mox Opal out. Get a counter on our Stoker. We have to crack our baubles in our turn because we don't want the Spirit of the Labyrinth to stop us from being able to draw cards next turn, which is a 4 in the Yorion deck list usually. Play this out. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can draw some cards this turn, but do we need to? Do we need to keep going here? We have the Echoing Truth that we can use. Let's see what's on top of our opponent's library and see if that changes things. Caracas, we don't really care about that too much. And it's still the Caracas, sure. I think we hold this up and maybe Echoing Truth at end of turn if it's something we need to. And then this will put a counter on our guy and then we can spin the wheel. So we got this, which isn't very helpful. Rite of Flame, that's more mana, so it's going to let us get stoked a bit more. Or is this going to be a Rest in Peace? Sure. That's fine. I do think we bounce this end of turn just to get a counter on the Stoker here. So we go blue and 2. This also means that as long as we've got 1 card in our graveyard, the relic can't hurt our Echo plan either. Okay, I guess we're just going for the big mana plays here. So exile this, play this, get stoked a little bit, play this. They can activate their relic, but we can remove the Echoing Truth here. Get rid of the Echoing Truth, so we still get the maximum value out of our Rite of Flame. Attach for 2, sacrifice this. It's got to be a good one. Horn. What does Horn get us here? A load more cards, obviously. Cast this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, let's discard this Ancient Tomb. Let's see what we're working with. Flamestoker and a guy. That seems pretty good to me. Cast this Flamestoker. What can we gamble for that's actually useful here? If we gamble for Echo, we do get to spin the wheel this turn, so that seems pretty good to me. So we'll go for red mana, I think. Play this out. Keep this one. Gamble. Get stoked here. Get this Echo. Immediately cast it. We only have 1 mana up here, but we're going to draw 7 cards, which is actually 14 cards. So we discard this excess land here. And we can discard on 7. That's not a lot of Storm, is it, actually? Get rid of a Bauble. That's 2 cards instead of 1. I guess we cast this Mox Opal here. Get stoked a bit more. Keep this one. I guess we probably need to start adding some mana to our pool a little bit, don't we, here? So this going. Getting a little bit more stoked. This takes us up another notch here. We're kind of a little bit reluctant about popping this because we don't want to lose our Grapeshot. I think I'm going to draw 2 cards with this. Another Galvanic Relay. Okay, I wish I'd done that earlier, to be honest. So we can play the Birgi. That's right, it's going to tap us almost out of mana. I think that's fine, though. Then we can play this. Give us some mana. Let's finish stoking our guy. That's 12, so we can cast this at the cost of 1, and then we can redraw some stuff here. Or we can just cast a big relay. This is discard a card, so I don't really want to put this in because we've already seen the surgical extractions. I think we will get a massive relay here. Which does give us another mana that we can put into this to the Flamestoker we want. Now, if this finds us a Grapeshot, then we can spin this one away right now if we want to. We just don't want to have our Grapeshot surgical extractable. Galvanic Relay, Rite of Flame. Okay, so there's no Grapeshot in there, so I don't know if I want to do anything with this. Because if I discard this here and they have the thing, we just lose. So I think we have to pass and just win the game next turn with our massive amount of cards. Spirit of the Labyrinth doesn't really stop us here because we have the Grapeshot as well. I don't think the Deafening Silence can certainly be a problem here. Thalia, that's not too bad. What are we doing here? Exile all graveyards to draw a card. Sure. So now they can't surgically extract us because of their own Thalia. And Birgi just counters Thalia on its own, which is nice to know. So I think we'll tap for 2 mana. We'll start out with a Lotus Petal. Paying 1. Put these on stack. Always yield. Always yield. And we'll play out. I haven't really got any more big mana generators here. I guess we got this Rite of Flame that we can cast. Let's go for this. Rite of Flame. Rite of Flame. This one will make more mana. So we've got Storm 3. You can crash for 4 here if you want to. I think we float 2 mana. Play this Relay. Oh, not this Relay, this Volcanic Island. We'll cast this Bauble. Cast this Bauble. Cast this Chrome Mox. We're not going to imprint on this, I don't think. We're just going to cast 2 Grapeshots at our opponent, I think. Cast this. Gain 1 mana 0 mana spells are free. Even under the Thalia. So we can cast this Flamestoker here, that's fine. Could have done this to start with, but we don't really need to. So then we point this at our opponent's face. All under their Thalia. Just have a lot of clicking to get through now. I think we've got this match. And we'll go with this one. These trees on stack. Alright. Looks like our opponent's conceded there. So we finished with a 2-3. The painter hand that beat us was very good. In the final round, we lost to Goblins because we misboarded and kind of played that whole game wrong because we thought our opponent was Reanimator. That's unfortunate. And we lost to Delver where they mulliganed hard but had like a great hand. And then every time we wheeled them into like the 2 pieces they needed every single time. So that wasn't great either. So we ended up with a 2-3, but I can understand why we lost what we lost. So let's have a chat about the deck. So my issue with this deck is that you get loads of hands that just look like nonsense, that don't look like they do anything or go anywhere. And there's obvious ones that are definitely mulligans. And there's obvious hands which are definite keeps. But there's this big grey area in the middle where I don't have the knowledge and experience to know if it's good or not. Especially when you're talking about not just making the deck work, but specific matchups as well. Like, how far am I supposed to mulligan for these certain things? So there is definitely some real tricky elements to playing this deck that I'm, having to learn. I think, for my personal play style, I think the Urza's, the Mono Black Saga Storm is a much better deck for me personally to play. I feel the two different lines of attacks in terms of Storm and Saga tokens. My brain can wrap its head around that quite well, and I think evaluating opening hands with Saga Storm is a lot easier than it is with this, because how many Bauble redraws are you supposed to keep? You need to know like the number percentages of like what you can draw to with your baubles and things a little bit, and certain breakpoints. So I'm not like, this is definitely not the deck for me out of the Storm decks, but it's clearly very powerful, and I know Tony is always near the top of the trophy board at the moment. So he's been playing a combination of things, but this is one of the decks he's been playing, and I've seen him play, and it looks pretty good in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing. He was the one who built the deck and popularized it. So yeah, I don't really have anything to say about this deck in terms of what to change, because it's not something that I have the knowledge to actually deal with. So I can just say about how it feels. And this is one, if you want to put the time in and learn it, you're going to get a lot of returns out of it. And the skills you get off of it are very transferable to the Epic Storm, which is the other Galvanic Relay Storm deck. I find Galvanic Relay is a very difficult card to play sometimes, because how much do you put on the board first? Like, because you want to play stuff out with these sort of artifact decks usually, but how many do you keep for a relay? How big a relay is worth it, especially in your opening hand? That's a really difficult evaluation, because sometimes when I'm getting an opening hand, I think, well, I can do a little relay here for like 3 or 4, but then I could just mulligan and see 3 or 4. I could see 5 or 6 cards, and maybe have something to go a bit deeper with that way. So it's a difficult deck to evaluate, which is why I highly recommend that you watch the link to Tony's video that I put in the description when he played this the other day, because he plays it really well, and you'll learn a lot more. Well, you'll learn different things, right? You'll learn how things are supposed to go, and when you watch Tony, you'll see all the clean lines, you'll see it all working out. Whereas if you watch me playing it, you'll sort of see a lot of the stumbling blocks that you can then learn from. So I think if you watch both videos, you'll probably end up coming away with a reasonable idea of whether this deck is for you, and some of the things you need to be watching out for when you're playing it. All right, I think we're about done with that. So like, comment, subscribe, check out Tony's video, and subscribe to Tony. I think he hasn't hit monetization yet on YouTube, so help him out. He's a good guy, and he makes great Storm videos. All right, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.